want the BlackPanthaa Skyline. One of the best cars in Street Tier 2, known as an absolute guttering machine, a technique used by some of the best players to get around turns that much quicker. Or you might want the Dodge Tusk Edition, one of the most stylish cars in Street Tier 2. See, whether you're looking for speed or style, all of those and many, many other things can be found in the Prestige Ticket Store, the home of exclusive competitive rewards in the Crew Motorfest. But you already know they don't come cheaply. So this is a quick and comprehensive guide on Prestige tickets. Time codes will be below, and subscribe for not only more information-based videos on the Crew Motorfest, but just having fun on the game. What is the Prestige Ticket system? Prestige tickets are a currency gained by completing events in playlists in the custom mode, meaning doing them in other viable specs to fill out this full sticker board, receiving 10 Prestige tickets for each individual sticker, 100 Prestige tickets per row and column, 200 Prestige tickets for 25%, 400 for 50, and 600 for 75, meaning 1,200 extra Prestige tickets on top of all the ones I just previously mentioned per playlist. This is only one of two ways to receive Prestige tickets. But this currency, which has a big focus on long-term grinding completion, allows you to purchase any and all the vehicles from the summit and rewards from the custom show. To note, this is only the new vanity items, meaning the fire vs lightning underglow, not stuff like Aurora Borealis or Red Storm, as these are Crew 2 vanities brought back. But everyone's mostly here for the cars. Those are locked for 2 seasons, meaning this car, the Rimac Nevera, will not be in Season 6 in 2 weeks. It will not be in Season 7 in 4 months. It will be in the Prestige Ticket Store in Season 8 in 8 months. Meaning winning these items in the summit and custom show gives you 2 update early access to these items until everyone can purchase them for a very expensive price, utilizing their Prestige ticket supply. There is no affixes or hacks to increase the percentage of Prestige tickets gained. That's unchangeable, unlike money or XP. But there is quicker ways of making Prestige tickets and consistent ways that you, as a newer player, might not know about. So let's jump into that. This is the weekly method of Prestige tickets, gaining you 150 Prestige tickets per week. If you do this every week, that means you can get from about 750 to 1,000 Prestige tickets a month, and it's all a part of the Summit contest. As we've seen for the last 4 months, they have completely systemized these event completion rewards at the top. They used to be unique, but now they are not. Every single week, they are XP, 50,000 XP, Prestige tickets, and 100,000 bucks, which thankfully will make up a bit of the cost of purchasing the vehicles. This has happened every week with the exception of car summits, in which the Prestige tickets are the full event completion reward, but instead of getting 150, you get 300. But as far as I'm aware, that's only present in car summits. The rest of them are the 150 for 6 events complete. Now, 6 events in the summit is easier said than done. The skills are often easiest because they're no restriction, but one event will always be vehicle loan. 2 events have a restriction on a specific vehicle, but the other 3 events only have vague restrictions. This pattern varies based on the summit, because some summits have 3 different cars. But this summit, for example, you can do the skills, and you can do no restriction powerboat and no restriction helicopter, along with the loaned, and then that's your Prestige tickets. So yes, some weeks it will be just worth it to buy the cars for the summit. But unlike the interesting monthly method at the end of this video, which has a bit of an issue to it, this one can cost. At some point or another, you're gonna have to grind Prestige tickets. Here's a tip that applies to every playlist. Always be on the lookout for single spec event types, that being drag and drift events. Drag will not only get you the 10 for completing the single event, but also give you the column and the row worth of Prestige tickets. That's 210 tickets for one event. Drift, although can be featured in other event types, when there's a drift event, drift is the only thing you can use. So completing that will give you the 10 for completing it, and then the 100 for completing the road, being 110 for the single event. This is in Made in Japan, American Muscle with a drag event, Donut Media has a drift event, Drift has drift events, Ocean and Sky has powerboat events, Drift Volume 2 has drift events, Made in Japan 2 also has a drift event. The Chase Squad playlist, if you own it, only requires 2 different vehicles for the chase events. And Lowrider vs. Donk has Street Tier 1 events, which can only be done in Street Tier 1 as they're the dance events. So those are the single events that are quickest for prestige tickets, but what overall playlists are the best? This is the top 5 playlists in the Crew Motorfest for gaining prestige tickets. Shout out to 2 members on the currently unnamed council, as I, with them, discussed the idea of the top 5 playlists and we figured out what they are together. First of all, why does this matter? Well, it's because of what's behind me. Prestige tickets are behind me, aren't they? I'm sorry, that was bad, I'm sorry. See, for every single playlist, no matter what one, you get 200, 400, 600, totaling to 1,200 prestige tickets for completing up to 75% of that playlist. So the shorter the playlist as a whole, the quicker you can get 1,200 extra tickets. No matter how short or long the playlist is, it will be 1,200. For these playlists that I'm going to talk about, although 75% is the best place to stop, I do still think you should go for 100% on the ones I'm going to recommend, as although you don't get any more prestige tickets, you do get the extra hundreds from the columns and the rows. I'm going to do this in quickest to slowest order for your grinding benefit. At 7 events in total and only 6 events for the 1,200, which is an insane ratio, Drift Experience Volume 2 has the shortest custom mode in the entire game. You simply have to do every single one of the events only once in any drift car, including the Drift Limousine, and I've already done it. I could sit and stop still. Now, in fact, I will. Oh, look, I did it. 100 prestige tickets per event complete, 200, 400, 600, and all the hundreds for each of them. The quickest playlist in the game, number 2, is the Maui Expedition at 11 events in total, and only 9 to get the 1,200 prestige tickets in total. However, this one is very close with number 3. I've put this one above simply as the specs you have to use are a lot simpler, as a lot of these can be done very quickly. It may be one of the longest events in the game, but Street 2, Racing, Hypercar, AGP shouldn't take very long at all. It's Street 1, Drift, Motocross, Rally Raid, Demolition, Rally, and Monster that make this a bit longer of a grind. Which is why, although it has 1 event less than number 3, number 2 is still very close to it. And what is that number 3, which could be ever so slightly better than Maui Expedition, simply on time? Well, it's another one that's takes really long. The Ocean and Sky playlist at 12 events in total, 1 more than Maui Big Tour. This playlist still has only 9 events to get the 75%. It's showing 8 because I've completed 1 event. See, although the events are shorter, there's a lot more of them and they're still pretty lengthy events. So if you didn't want to finish this whole playlist, especially Helicopter being the newest spec and slowest spec, you can definitely finish all of the powerboat and plane events. That'll get you down to 8 completed, and then you only have to do 1 helicopter event to get 75% complete, getting 1,200 prestige tickets, on top of about 700 extra tickets from completing those events. But it would only be 3 helicopter events extra to get 430 more prestige tickets. But all in all, this is definitely very close to the Maui Expedition playlist. And that trend doesn't actually stop. In fact, number 4 and number 5, those 2 playlists are joint completely at 38 events entirely and only 29 events to get the 1,200. Which, yes, I'm aware that's a big jump from the 8 that we were just at. Joint 4th and 5th first is Off-Road Addict Volume 2. As you can see, it's a very scattered playlist. This one has some events that only require 2 to be done for the whole row. Some of them require 7 events, but most of them are only 5 to 2 events in total. This should be your next one after completing the other 3 that I've told you about. But this event, despite how it looks, is actually joint. The 4th and 5th place other competitor, which is Drift Volume 1, which, as you can see, has the drift at the beginning, but there is so many in the last 3 events that it actually makes up for the amount in off-road. And these 2 are joint at 38 and 29 events complete. But of course, this specific section is obviously going to be a little quicker than off-road. So what are the 6th to 21st playlists order? We don't know. I might put it in a pinned comment if I do go through and get that information, or the council does. But as far as this being a guide on prestige tickets, my next advice is just do the rest of them. Don't worry about order past the top 5. Just grind through it while doing something else. Have YouTube open, watch a movie, binge Suits like I've been doing. Just do something else while playing the rest of the custom mode just in bulk. And I have one more thing to mention, and that's that Prestige tickets are missing something. Back when they first announced Prestige tickets, they told us that you will get them by completing races in custom mode, participating in the Summit contest, which we've seen, and main stage events. As far as I was aware, we were supposed to be getting Prestige tickets as rewards in here, in the lower levels of the main stage, but we never did in the end. In fact, I was going to include it in this guide until I found out, wait, they never actually did it. They just said they would. But I guess they didn't put a timeline on it, so do look out in the main stage as an honorable mention at the very end here. Do look out for Prestige tickets in the main stage, hidden somewhere, because they did say they would include them here. And that would be a monthly set of Prestige tickets on top of the near 1,000 that you can get from the Summit. That's going to be about it from me in a bit.